Well, I think Schmitty, they're playing as good as anybody in the league. They're coming off of two really good wins at home, sweeping UIC. Manette, Burke, and Goss have logged a lot of minutes in this league. So they're certainly a three-headed monster. All of them are really, really good players inside this league and really do something a little bit different than one another. But I think Coach Rim has done a tremendous job. Um, I think he was thrown into a very difficult situation last year. And I think this year they have really bought in to his system. They run great stuff, run as good a stuff offensively as anybody in this league. So I think he should definitely be considered for that job. I think he's earned the right to get that job. Be interesting to see what they do at the end of the season. But you can see the reflection that he's had on their team, and a very, very good team.
You guys are in fifth seed, I think. Is that right? So,
Yep.
some things have to happen this week. First of all, I know the intention is to win, both games this weekend, but do you kind of have an eye going to see what's happening, down south with what's going on with, Northern Kentucky and Wright State?
Yeah, I think Dana, we're in a really good spot. We opened up this season 8 out of 10 on the road, and certainly on the back end here, we've got quite a few home games. So I think it's good to get in a routine. It's good to play home games late in the season. What's going to happen this weekend? And there's really five teams going for the final two spots. It's not just Oakland and Northern Kentucky and ourselves and Detroit, but Green Bay and IUPUI are all still in the mix. And I think it just shows you from really that third all the way down to about seventh or eighth. Everybody is right in the hunt for those final two seeds, with the third and fourth spot. Certainly, right now, Oakland and Northern Kentucky are 3 and 4. We're sitting at 5. But, I think, as I told the guys, we got to worry about ourselves. We've got to have a good week of practice, really lock in on the game plan, and just take care of our part. We do have to play good basketball here down the stretch. We've done that. We got to continue to build on that. The way you get confidence is in your preparation. So just continue to have good practices and have good performances this weekend. And, I think ultimately your goal is to be in that top four, Dana, because you get the first round bye, you get a home game, and obviously you have to win one less game to go to the NCAA tournament. So the fourth seed is, 3 or 4 is really, really important the way our tournament makeup is this year.
Coach, when you go up against IUPUI, is Coach Rib doing anything defensively different than you've seen against them the last couple of years that concerns you maybe heading into these two games than maybe a year or two ago?
Well, they try to ice the ball screen, Rob. So they try to keep the ball on one side. They want you to give the ball up to your big instead of coming off the ball screen and create the mismatch. So they'll down the ball screen. He'll play some 2-3 zone. They switch their defenses up from man to zone. Yeah, I think they're totally different. I think they're much, much better defensively than they were a year ago. I think they all understand their roles so much better this year. And he's got a good rotation. He does a great job of, getting those big three out at certain points in the game. But for the most part, those three kids are going to play the entire game.
Which I know you touched on, and a lot could happen being in that fifth seed. Can you sense, your players know about that, and can you see that in their practice?
I think so, Dana. I mean, anymore everything is on social media, but more importantly, our guys have been in this league now. 4 of them have been in the league for 4 years, so they understand the league. They understand how this tournament format works. I think the league did a good job with the format. I like it. I think it rewards those top 4 teams. I think the regular season means a lot. And I think those teams should be rewarded. In years past, we've done the double bye. I think that's difficult on the top 2 seeds. Yeah, it protects them all the way to the semis, but there's that layoff. So just getting feedback from some of the coaches that have been in that situation, in our coaches meetings. I think everybody was, really excited, first and foremost that every team made the conference tournament. All 12 teams are going to make this tournament. Everybody has as good a chance as the other. And then how are we going to reward the top teams for their body of work throughout the regular season? And I think we did a good job with that.
Coach, do they have enough defensively to slow down your 5, 6 guys? That now you've got Darius back in the flow and Shamar maybe back from his toe injury. I think you guys are. If I looked at it, I don't know who I could take out of the game. I don't know who I would try to take away. Let's put it that way. Did they have enough of a defensive scheme to do that?
Well, you go into a game plan with certain things you want to try to attack. I think the best thing we can do offensively is have balance. When we see 5 or 6 guys robbing double figures and a high shooting percentage from 3 in the field and the foul line, as we saw on last Friday, we're a really, really hard team to guard. I think the other side of it is defensively. We got to continue to guard. We're giving ourselves a chance in every game because we are playing much, much better defense than we have all year. Why is that? I think, the guys have really raised their level of concentration on that end of the floor. But I think more importantly, we got some bodies back. We've had some good, really competitive practices. And I think the guys understand that in order to make a run at this thing, we've got to play high-level defense. And when we do that, that's going to lead to our offense. So I think our execution's gotten better. I think all in all, on both sides, Schmitty, we've gotten better. But I don't think as a coach you go into any game saying, hey, this team can't stop us or, we have this kind of firepower. That's certainly not the case because, we only scored 70 on Saturday. So there's going to be nights that you don't score the basketball. And how do you win those games? You do the little things and you play defense.
Is this the healthiest you've been all year?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. If we had Jameer back, we'd have everybody on our roster able to play in a game, and, I think Grayson, we've really went slow with him. He came out of the gates against Robert Morris, and he had 8 points in that first game. And laterally, he's really struggling to move. He can run this way, but he broke his ankle. And it's just that lateral movement, getting back in the swing of things. I think Darius's lateral movement has gotten so much better. He's had some really, really good practices. DQ has defensively, locking in, making sure that he can move and understand our concepts. He's done a good job the last 5 games of that.
In this pandemic year, and I asked this to Coach Barnes, I guess, it's unprecedented times for coaches. What did you maybe, I don't want to say dislike, but what was the biggest struggle for you guys? And then on the other end, is there something from this pandemic year that you say, hey, this wasn't too bad, maybe this could be something we use down the road?
Yeah, I think, Dana, all of us, not just coaches, but just people in general, when we finally get through this pandemic and we kind of self-reflect, I think there's a lot of things that we can take, good and bad. I think the biggest difficult thing that, the hardest thing we've had to deal with, quite honestly, is just a lack of practice. We went the whole month of November with no practice and then went right into 8 out of 10 on the road and then the injuries. But I would just say the interaction with the guys, when you have a mask on your face and, you're supposed to be social distance at practice with your huddles, with your practice schemes, just that interaction with your guys. There's nothing like human interaction, right? Like, just interacting with another human, talking, having them in your office, all those sorts of things we had to really cut down on this year, Dana, and team meals and just those bonding experience, I would say, has been very, very hard. And then I think the positives for me is, when we were in quarantine, that's just time to really, kind of self-reflect as a person and figure out where you're at in your life, and really try to gain some knowledge and grow your brain. And whether it was through podcasts, whether it was through interactions with other coaches, with books, but most importantly, I think your family. You spend so much time recruiting. You spend more time with other people's family members than you do your own when you're coaching. So your family sacrifices so much. I've learned and appreciated so much more from my wife, the amount of time she's spending with our 3 daughters, with homeschooling every day, and trying to help her when I can throughout this last 9 months. And then I would think, the meetings, the number of Zoom meetings, and the time you can get things done at your house. I've been over the years, Dana, a big office guy. I was, I played for Raleigh Massimino, and I coached with Bob Huggins, and I coached with Jeff Young. Those were guys that were grinders. We came up under the old school mentality of we're going to outwork you. We're going to punch in a lot of hours. We're going to watch a lot of tape. We're going to have a lot of meetings. We're going to have a lot of staff meetings. I've really cut down on that. After games, I do the media, may spend 10 minutes with the staff, but I've really gotten out of the office and tried to watch the tape at night by myself and concentrate, and then come in the next day with a little more sleep than usual and a different perspective on things. So I think this pandemic, in the end, it's going to give you a lot of appreciation for a lot of things. But I would say the family aspect of it is definitely one of the biggest.